mean, it's not, Mars doesn't have as much or any ice. Actually, no, that's not true. There is some ice in the atmosphere and the polar regions of Mars, but as far as, mostly it's, obviously not the same exact thing as Antarctica, but I think it comes closest. So when I was in Antarctica, I think what I did not like about it, this is something I don't share too much, is this feeling of a little bit like feeling like I can't leave. It's a very beautiful place, a very beautiful continent. It's a desert, it's an ice desert, it doesn't rain, there's no trees, But that wasn't what really bothered me, the 24/7 sunlight. Some people can't sleep when you have 24/7 sun. So there were people on my team who had to go home because they just couldn't handle the 24/7 sun, and it's like affecting their sleep and everything. But for me, that wasn't it. I was very excited for the opportunity, and I was very excited to be working there. And it was quite amazing as far as an adventure goes. Like, I mean, can you really beat it? But what I did not like is I felt like I didn't have control over when I can go home and be with my children again. And at that time, I just had the one child who was a cat. And I just really missed him. And I was like, I just want to go home, but it would help to know when I can go so I can like look forward to it. And I didn't have an off ice date. So I just didn't know. It was just very uncertain when I could get back. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen in Mars. Like, I'll go there, and even if they tell me I can go back, there's probably going to be a lot. So like, depending on where you're going, the logistics is just harder. Like, they can't give you an off-ice date because there's a lot of difficult logistics. Like the flights that go back and forth between New Zealand, the military flights that go back and forth between New Zealand and Antarctica, where we were, those are running missions as well on a daily basis. And if you getting off the ice is not a very high priority mission, then you're not going to be on the list of people who get to leave the continent that day or any of the days that are coming up. So you're gonna be kind of like stuck as long as you're not on that mission for going back. So the same thing, I'm sure, absolutely 100,000% to a larger degree will happen if I went to, say, the moon or Venus or Mars. I mean, Venus is not very habitable because of its poisonous atmosphere, but say if it was, because coming back or making trips to and from these places is hard, I'll just be stuck there. So even if even if they gave me an off Mars date, like they didn't even give me an off ice date, and I am sure that the Mars off date would be changing all the time, and the whole time you're in a very inhospitable environment, by the way. It doesn't feel like home, right? So I just don't think I'd want to do that. Like, I might do it for the adventure, but I would not, because Mars is so far, I don't think I'd be very interested in going, unfortunately. I think this is where my adventure has limits. I like adventure, but to what extent? I think Mars is too much for me, to be honest. Do you think there is some sort of life on Mars or anywhere? So there might have been life in the past, because Mars does have some evidence of erosion by liquid water. So because there is some evidence of erosion with liquid water or flowing water, there may very well have been some life on Mars in the past, and it could be life like, it could be something not so interesting type of life, not every life has to be human beings or cats or dogs. It could be some sort of like simpler life form, like amoeba, bacteria, that type of thing. So very well could have been